Hello everyone, I hope all of you are having a great time and are in best of your spirits. Today I am reviving the playlist of system design interviews, and the aspect that I'll be talking about is scaling, which is of utmost importance from a system design interview. Even before starting the core video, for those who are unaware about me, let me just introduce myself. Hello everyone, I'm Sanchit Deja. I'm working as a software developer for at Adobe and have a total experience of 6 years. I hope you like today's session. Also, I would like to give a challenge that if this video is being watched by a student who is in 10th class, he'll be able to understand scaling fully. So I hope nobody is able to defeat me in this challenge, and everyone who goes through this video get a crystal clear picture what scaling actually is. Let's go back into the medieval period, 4th century BC, wherein a person named Jerry invented a wheel. He got really excited about the fact that this wheel could help build carts, which will further help people transfer goods from one place to another. He quickly went to his king and informed him about this new invention. The king, being very smart and intelligent, informed all the other kingdoms about invention of the wheel, and this news spread like fire. The complete world was looking out for wheels now. So what actually did happen? This king got an order of building 100 wheels and supplying one wheel each to different kingdoms so as to try those out. He quickly appointed the strongest men of the community to build wheels for him so that he can get gold from other kingdoms. These folks were extremely efficient and delivered these 100 wheels on time. As people from other kingdoms started using those wheels, the demand of wheels increased multifolds. In the next month, the king got an order of building 1,000 wheels. Irrespective of the gender, he tried appointing everyone who can work for him for building wheels. But still, he was sure that he will not be able to meet this demand and he won't be able to complete the task on time. So he got little worried and tensed about the fact that he'll be losing out a lot of money. The upset king immediately scheduled an emergency meeting with all the members of the community. He discussed the problem with them, and one wise minister suggested a possible solution. He suggested that the king should get in touch with the strongest men community kingdom, wherein people from the other community can help them build the 1,000 wheels task on time. The king got really impressed by this idea and conveyed this message to the other kingdom's king, and in exchange of the manpower, he agreed upon sharing some profit of delivering those wheels on time. The king got really impressed by this and agreed upon sending out the men from his community that was more strongest and muscular. So together, people from his community and from the other community delivered the task of building 10,000 wheels. There were few advantages and disadvantages in this complete whole process. So let's talk about them. The supply was done on time. King earned a lot of money by delivering the task on time from all the kingdoms across the globe. However, there was one slight disadvantage as well. He has to turn into profit sharing, hence the investment done by the king was pretty high. Now let's see what kind of scaling approaches the king applied in this complete process. Initially, when Jerry built one wheel, he added more hands to assist in building 100 wheels. More hands simply means more manpower, and more manpower simply means, in technology terms, more containers. So when you add more hands, you add more containers to your system. This is coined as horizontal scaling. So if I talk about in terms of containers, then if you are adding more containers in a particular service, that simply means you are horizontally scaling that system. We also saw that the king replaced weaker men from his community with stronger men from the other community. What was the result of this complete process? The strength of the system increased, as a result of which the efficiency of the complete system went multifold. This type of process of replacing a weaker system with a stronger system is coined as vertical scaling. Let's talk about both these types of scaling in software terms, and let's start with horizontal scaling first. Let's assume there was a system that had only one PC, and in each PC there was one CPU and 2 GB of RAM. As the demand increased, we added another CPU to the system, and now we have two CPUs, two PCs with one CPU unit each and 2 GB of RAM. As the demand further progressed, we added another PC to the system, and the total PC count increased to 3, and each PC has one CPU and 2 GB of RAM. So as the demand is increasing, we are adding more containers to the system and increasing the total strength of the system. This is coined as horizontal scaling. Let's talk about the vertical scaling now. Initially, let's assume that we have one PC with one unit CPU and 2 GB of RAM. As the demand progressed, we brought in a stronger system into the system and deleted the existing one. Now we have one PC with two CPUs in it and 4 GB of RAM. As demand further progressed, we replaced this system with another powerful PC that has 3 CPU units and 6 GB of RAM. And we can go up till supercomputers as and when the demand is increasing. This type of scaling is coined as vertical scaling, wherein you are completely deleting one system and adding a new system with higher efficiency and capacity. So where does scaling actually applies in software engineering? It applies at load balancers, it applies at application containers, it applies at databases. So depending upon the need, you can scale the load balancers, you can scale application containers, and you can also scale databases. Now let's talk about why scaling is so important in software solutions. The foremost thing is increased performance. High performance is achieved by virtue of scaling. Scaling automatically takes care of increased load, and once the system auto scales, higher performance rates are achieved. The other factor that comes into foreplay is reduced latency. A system, if it supports scaling, that simply means that in case of higher load, the latency will reduce multifold and the system overall will become more efficient. The third point that comes is that the system will be able to serve more number of calls only and only if the system is able to scale. That simply signifies that the throughput of your service increases multifold. So these are the primary 3 advantages of scaling, and that's the reason it is of so much importance. You are able to serve more calls out of your system, and that simply means that the customers will be really happy as it is happening with reduced latency or minimum latency. However, there are few drawbacks of vertical scaling and horizontal scaling. So let's talk about both of them. In vertical scaling, if your system fails, that simply means that there is only one container and it's gone. That signifies that it becomes a single point of failure. However, if you have horizontal scaling configured in your service, if one of the node fails, the other 2 or other nth nodes can continue serving the request. That means if you are using horizontal scaling, then you have built a resilient system. If you are using vertical scaling, then you have introduced another point of complete system failure using vertical scaling aspect. Let's talk about few more differences. In horizontal scaling, the atomicity is compromised. There could be a case where 2 containers are trying to write the same data in your database, and that simply signifies that the atomicity concept is gone. There will be a race condition and one will win and other will lose. However, there is no such atomicity constraints in vertical scaling. There is only one container and all the requests from the container goes to the database, and there is no race condition that can happen in the system. The atomicity remains intact. The third difference that I can think of is that in case of horizontal scaling, we need load balancers. So there will be a load balancer configured that will tell on which container the request should go. However, there is no such need of a load balancer in case of vertical scaling because there is only one node in your system. So which one is better and which one is not? Each and both of them has few pros and few cons. So in modern day infrastructure, we use hybrid kind of a model wherein we use vertical scaling as well as horizontal scaling. We have huge number of containers which as and when needed can vertically scale separately. On what basis does scaling happen? It happens on the basis of incoming traffic. For example, if there is more traffic in your system, then auto scaling will automatically happen. The other aspect is memory. If your container or application memory is breaching a threshold, then scaling will happen or it should happen. You should always configure scaling policies on memory. The third thing that I could think of and use is CPU. You should always configure scaling policies on the basis of the CPU. If the system CPU is going beyond a particular threshold, then auto scaling should happen. Now this brings me to the end of today's session. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for viewing it. Have a great day ahead and stay tuned for more updates from Coding Decoded. I'll see you tomorrow with another fresh question, but till then, goodbye. And do let me know how did you like this video. If you are interested in more such system design videos, I am attaching the playlist below. Do give it a shot, they are equally interesting. I tried my level best to explain the concept of scaling to you guys. I hope you got most out of it.